Everyone, Richard here to do a video on core composition for ultimate mode. I have an earlier video. I guess I could link that in the description below this one on my last updated core composition. And it's kind of funny looking at it. I have some weird things in there that I don't believe in anymore, so I should make an update. Let's get into this. The Luftwaffe, there will be 20 total units. That's actually quite a bit. I think in my old Ultimate mode, I had like 17. And some people might think that's way too much, but I think you're going to want this much. So you can see I have 4 strategic bombers, and 4 of those are bought. And then the heroes I want are attack heroes. One of the things, if I keep playing my new Ultimate mode, I'm going to make sure I get ideal heroes, because it is disheartening to get a level bomber and then they get something like spotting. That's that's just demoralizing. So if I could just reload to get like better heroes, that would make ultimate mode go a lot smoother. And I'll talk about what kind of heroes I'm looking for. So I have 2 Heinkel and 2 Donier as my level bombers. I had talked with Soren about, did we benefit from 5 level bombers? And I think the answer to that is it's too much. And I know in 42 there's 2 maps where 4 level bombers is a beast. And my idea of why I have so many level bombers is that my tactical bombers are going to be maxed out by the end of 43. I think all of my tactical bombers, even with me reducing their usage, I think all of them are going to be at 3 heroes or very close by the end of 43. And just deploying them in 44 is taking away kills from other units. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to keep using tactical bombers when that's not distributing kills appropriately. But what does make sense is using level bombers, and by 44, you're going to have a lot more tanks that have air defense, which is kind of defeating the purpose of having a tactical bomber. And it's not like your tactical bombers are going to be doing a lot of damage to infantry. They can still be used for AA and artillery, but I think I would have to find some other way to deal with those guys. Obviously, artillery, a strategic bomber is actually better because you can completely drain them of ammo, which can help you assault a position. So I'm imagining, like, maybe 2 strategic bombers in 43 and then 3 in 44. And there might be some scenarios where you would deploy 4. I don't know what those would be, but you might deploy 4. I just feel that you don't want to rely on tactical bombers because they get all these kills. What's next? I didn't change anything about the fighters. What I do want to point out is I want defense +3 on every fighter. So this is just, like, I don't need to worry about kills so much with my fighters, because I think you can just rack up a ton of kills. But what I do worry about is them getting damaged in aerial combat, especially early war. It can easily happen, especially with the Manstein effect. So the faster I can get like defense +3 on the fighters, the more comfortable I'll feel going into combat with them. Tactical bombers, all you care about are attack heroes. Everything after that is not, it's just not very useful. In AA, I want a range +1 and a, whoa, let me go back. A range +1 and a movement +1. I was surprised when I was looking at the stats of my 88 guns. The range +1 was keeping up with the movement +1. That, I was like, holy crap, that is crazy. The range is a really big deal, and I don't think we see enough range AA play. So I would do the same thing again. Get one of them to be movement +1 and one to be range +1, and they will track each other pretty closely in kills. And then obviously I'm going to get a couple mobile AA units, and the only thing we're interested in is attack heroes. A range would be interesting, but the problem is they're mobile, so how beneficial is range? It's just not. Movement isn't that helpful either. So the only thing you're really interested in is attack heroes. Alright. artillery. This is I'll cover the summary, what changed, but I have 11 units. We're going to buy 9. What's different is I'm going to go for the Polish artillery because I realized that it has the same stats as the German artillery, but it's cheaper. So this can help on soft cap issues. So sometimes I was facing tight soft cap issues, and it might not be such a problem if I have the Polish artillery. And then I have 3 10.5 that will become 17 centimeters. One mistake I made was I had 5 17 centimeters. I think that's way too much, and it's killing you on soft cap. So just make 3 of your 10.5 become 17 centimeters, and I think it's the right number. And then I'll have 2 10.5 that stay 10.5, and they're going to get range +1 heroes. And then these 17 centimeters will get attack heroes. And I want my Polish artillery's first hero to be range +1 as well. So I'll have like 3 attack heroes, and then I'll have 3 range +1 heroes, and then I'll have 3 movement +1 heroes. And then I'll purchase the Wolf Ramen, and basically range or attack is what I want. You know, either one is fine. So we're seeing a little diversity in the artillery, but not as much as Goose likes to see. Infantry. So here's a big thing. I have 15 units that I want. So I have 2 SE Grenadiers that I will probably acquire in 1940. So those guys, I want them to be, I want them to get a defense +3 hero. The reason I want the SE Grenadiers is I need to have infantry units that guard my flanks that don't have to do much. And SE units are going to get a lot of kills and experience very, very easily. They're really overpowered. And then later, as the campaigns get complicated, if you watch how Soren plays, he has these infantry units guarding his flanks. I'm imagining 2 of those units being SE. And you don't feel guilty about it because they're already maxed out, basically. So that's one way to kind of execute his similar type of plan without putting your non-SE units in those slots. And they're also stronger and more intimidating than regular infantry. One of my regular will get a spotting hero. Well, actually, I know exactly which one. Well, either one of my 2 mountain units or the regular will get a spotting hero, and then they'll become a Crotchetson. This is a change from last time. I discounted the value of the Crotchetson, but I think that with a spotting hero, a Crotchetson can do a lot of good work for you, and they can travel really far, so this gives my corps more speed. And then the guy with a truck will become a Grenadier, and I want him to get an attack or initiative hero. My mountain units, I want movement +1, and then they become pioneers. And my paratroopers, I want defense +3. And I'll keep them as paratroopers for a long time. And then you're going to notice, like, Oladier, defense +3, Warnsbroker, defense +3, Pine, defense +3. Hetzenhauer, probably attack is what you want, or initiative, but mostly what I want is defense heroes. So not only, the reason I want this is so I limit the probability of taking damage, and I'm not worried about kills because I will distribute my units in such a way that they get balanced kill totals. By not overusing Oladier. That's definitely step 1 to make that happen. Alright, tanks. So I'm actually have 1 less tank compared to last time. The difference is I'll have 2 less SE tanks, and then I will keep 1 of my starter tanks. This does affect soft cap, but I think it's worth it in the end. This allows me to concentrate my tanks on kills, and I think tanks get used too much. I think having more infantry is more useful. Yeah, and I want defense +3, but possibly on Rondorf movement +1 because he's already got like a huge collection of heroes, and if he's a tiger with 7 movement, that is a lot. So there's a lot of situations where 7 movement could be the difference between a decisive victory or not. And then second heroes are probably movement or defense. Yeah, you can see I favor defense heroes. Oh, scout and anti. So I'll keep one scout, and what I want are movement heroes. I think movement heroes, if you know the map, a spotting hero isn't that helpful. Uh, but movement is really helpful. Let's see, and then I want to keep one toad anti-tank, and he has to have a movement hero, and then after that, attack heroes would be fine. And then I'm going to have two Panzerjägers that become Stugs, and then they become Jagdpanzer. I don't know. They stay Stugs through 43, and then oh whoops. The thing is, if they have, so my issue when I was playing on Ultimate mode in 43 was that the Stugs were not able to hold their own, but they had movement heroes and not defense heroes. So if they have a defense hero, that might be enough to deter attacking them. But I think Soren, I think it becomes a problem after Prokhorovka. So I'll see what Soren does, dealing with some of these really, really strong tanks that show up over the Dnieper River. What I'm imagining is maybe they get defense +3 and then movement. I mean, if they get defense +3, I can be more aggressive with them in combat. If they get movement, I can position them more accurately. Probably defense +3, that will save me the most prestige, and then movement. And then I think you can upgrade them to Yog Panthers, and they're crazy good. Okay, so changes in core composition. So tank total is 1 less. So I'm having 2 less SE tanks, and then I'm keeping 1 starter tank. I have 3 more infantry. This is the biggest change, mostly because I'm keeping 2 SE infantry, and then I have just 1 more infantry. I think that infantry need to be used more, and you need to do a better job of rotating them. I think having more infantry is going to be helpful for maps like Stalingrad. I mean, Goose had something like 10 infantry for that map, and I think you need, if you follow my plan, you're going to have 12 when you hit Stalingrad. I think going from 10 to 12 will make that situation a lot better. Yeah, I'm still, I said 3 anti-tanks last time. I'm going to keep it that way, but I'm switching out a Stug for a Toad anti-tank. I will see if I can make that work. I think I can if I can get an early enough movement hero. 1 less SA, 1 less AA. For some reason, I headers and tackle bombers the same. 1 more strategic bomber, and then 1 less scout and 1 less artillery. And you'll notice that it's balanced. So the changes are rather subtle. Reasons for changes. So yeah, so 42 has some big maps where there's 4 level bombers, where 4 level bombers make a big difference. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, tactical bombers are basically maxed out after Kirks. I don't see why you would want to keep using them when they're taking kills from other units. And then I mentioned the rotation thing. Yep. And I want the movement +1 on Toad anti-tank. I think tanks are overemphasized. I want my kills to go on anti-tanks. And so in order to make room for my bigger Luftwaffe, I gave up a scout and an artillery piece to get more infantry. So the scenario is I've got 3 paratroopers, and I have Oladir, who I'm kind of sidelining. And then if I have my 2 SE infantry kind of holding flanks, you got a situation where 6 of my 12 infantry are already occupied, right? So I need more infantry to actually assault positions. So this is why I have so many infantry units. And this is also why the tank corps is smaller. And the artillery is a little bit smaller, just to make room for more infantry. Yep. So summary. So 11 SE units, 2 fighters, 1 mouse, 2 grenadiers, 6 tigers, 1 capturable Polish artillery, 15 hero units. Yes. 4, 5. That's right. 6, 9, 11, yeah. And then we have 9 given units. So if you add this all up, you have 36 units that you don't have to purchase, and 25 you do have to purchase. That's actually not that much in the end. And I put here, we're going to be purchasing 9 artillery, 4 infantry, a fighter, a tactical bomber, strategic bombers, 4 AA, and 2 anti-tank. The Air Force and the artillery is where the bulk of your purchases will be. 19. So this is a huge thing. Is you're looking at like 80% of the purchased units will be purchased by the end of 1939. And there's a reason for that. I want to rotate them into battle as early as possible because fighting early war is easier than fighting later war. And that was it. So this is my update on the corps composition. I would also like to mention... Escape. Okay. This is being updated thanks to Soren, and Goose did some things. So this link that you see below in my videos will show you this update. So I put in here, whose color is whose comments, and you can see that there have been many, many updates. So we're up to like 67 ultimate mode tactics. I've also added this prestige management, and I also updated how to play Poznan and Danzig. Those are, I think, those are up to date and very robust, just for those that want to play ultimate mode. So that's all I have to say for now. And until next time.